the seed of all diseases. We may die tomorrow, but we can also live healthily for 100 years. I saw my junior at work eating ramen too often, so I said that it would be okay since he is still young, but it could come back to him as poison in the future, so he should eat less often. Then my junior said, "Why worry so much when you might die tomorrow?" Hello? This is the Health Digest channel. We always produce videos for your health management with information from Korean health management specialists and researchers in related fields. Are there any people who haven't subscribed yet? Please subscribe and like right now. And please share it with the people around you so that we can all live healthy lives. It is good to eat and live as much as you like. Of course, it is a joke, and it may be true. Everyone has different values and philosophies. However, those who agree with the importance and value of health should be wary of fatalism that says that nothing can be done, and cynicism that lacks the will to overcome. In order to make the wish of living to be healthy for 100 years a reality, we must practice diligently every day based on correct awareness and strong will. In the past, I have introduced the concept of glycotoxin, the cause of its creation, and the comprehensive negative effects on our bodies through columns, and it seems that readers who have come across this have become very alert. In fact, the harmful effects of glycotoxin on our health are truly significant. In order to live a healthy life, we must suppress the creation of glycotoxins.
How can we do that?
We must practice forming good habits that prevent glycotoxins. There are many factors that create glycotoxins in our bodies. These can be broadly divided into internal and external factors. Internal factors refer to cases where excessive sugar intake causes glycotoxins to be created in our bodies through glycation. External factors refer to cases where glycotoxins accumulate to a level that our bodies cannot handle due to the consumption of foods that contain a lot of glycotoxins, such as meat grilled at high temperatures or fried chicken fried in oil. If you often overeat or like fatty foods, sugar toxins will accumulate in your body without you even knowing it. Of course, our bodies have various immune systems and defense mechanisms. However, if they reach a level that cannot be handled at some point, they will manifest as rapid aging and various diseases, so consistent preventive management is most important. So, what should we do to prevent sugar toxins from being created in our bodies and prevent them from accumulating through the food we eat? First, we need enough sleep. Our bodies do a thorough cleaning while we sleep. If we do not get enough sleep, the detoxification of waste products and the ability to excrete them decrease, so sugar toxins are not detoxified. In addition, the incidence of dementia, cancer, and cardiovascular disease increases, and it causes obesity and memory, concentration, and learning ability decrease. There are various research results, but we must sleep for 7 to 8 hours. US President Reagan and UK Prime Minister Thatcher, who said that 4 hours of sleep was enough, both developed Alzheimer's disease. In order to sleep a lot, we must live diligently, faithfully, and diligently. Lazy and indolent people cannot sleep much. Second, drink plenty of water. Water is the source of life. The recommended daily intake for adults is approximately 1.5 L to 2 L. However, modern people do not drink enough water. Instead, they drink a lot of coffee, carbonated drinks, fruit juices, and electrolyte drinks. Of course, beverages also contain water, but you should drink a lot of clean water, without any additives. Clean water dilutes and excretes waste products, regulates body temperature, and allows cells to consume nutrients. In particular, alkaline water neutralizes the acidified body, so you can expect antioxidant and anti-glycation effects. Third, reduce carbohydrate intake. Boldly reduce carbohydrate intake such as rice, bread, rice cakes, snacks, sweet drinks, and ice cream, and instead eat plenty of healthy whole grain rice, vegetables, fresh protein, fish, seaweed, and unsweetened fruits. The order of meals should be vegetables, dietary fiber, meat, protein, lipid, and rice, sugar, carbohydrates, to prevent blood sugar spikes. The blood sugar spike mentioned here refers to a state where blood sugar suddenly rises sharply. In particular, if you go to bed at 11 p.m., you should not eat late-night snacks after 8 p.m., which is 3 hours before, to be able to sleep well. Fourth, it is better to eat boiled or steamed food. Since protein, a nutrient, generates a lot of sugar toxins when cooked at high temperatures. You should eat more food cooked at low temperatures by boiling or steaming it rather than cooking it at high temperatures or frying it in oil. Fifth, exercise as often as possible. In order to detoxify sugar toxins, you need to consume unnecessary excess sugar. To do that, it is good to exercise. Exercise does not necessarily mean going to the gym and using various equipment. It is also good to take a walk for 5 to 10 minutes after meal. Even at home, you need to reduce the time you sit down and make it a habit to keep moving your body as much as possible. The above 5 are the key principles for preventing sugar toxins. In fact, you may have expected a lot of special recipes, but you may have been disappointed because they were not special. However, I will tell you clearly. By improving your eating and living habits, you can manage sugar toxins, which are the beginning and root of aging and many chronic diseases, below dangerous levels. In addition, you can improve various problems caused by being overweight, such as obesity, blood pressure, and joint function. Unfortunately, improving your eating and living habits, which seems so simple, is actually very difficult. In particular, improving your eating habits is one of the most difficult problems. This is because sugar is an addictive substance like alcohol and nicotine. According to some statistics, alcoholism is harder to cure than drug addiction. The reason is that alcohol is relatively easier to obtain than drugs. Likewise, in modern society, where various foods are abundant, self-control over what you eat is bound to be difficult. As you live in society, you will inevitably encounter situations where you cannot do anything with your own will, such as eating out or having a company dinner. Still, we must have the will and improve our eating and living habits little by little. We must consistently practice good behaviors that prevent sugar toxins. To do so, we must make unconscious behaviors, that is, habits, through numerous repetitions. These habits have two meanings: good habits and bad habits. Ironically, good habits are hard to maintain, and bad habits are hard to break. Sweet foods that satisfy the mouth and give pleasure are actually bad for your health, while coarse and simple mixed grain rice, somewhat tasteless vegetables, and breathless exercise are good for your health. Eating habits are a very difficult issue related to human history, human instinct, sugar addiction, and psychology, but you shouldn't do it for a day or two. There will be days when you can't help it, but you have to have a strong will and practice it consistently for your whole life. If you use a digital door lock for a long time, just like you instinctively enter a password without thinking, if you practice it consistently, you will naturally develop good habits that prevent sugar toxins without even intending to. To create good habits, you need strong motivation and reasons. You must create your own clear motivation. As with everything in the world, if your reasons and goals are specific and strong, the chances of success increase. For example, there is an investment announcement for a business that you have been preparing for 6 months. You want to travel with your late-born child when he or she becomes an adult. You want to be liked by the person you like. I think that your own practical reasons and goals make continuous practice possible. You should put your heart into even small and trivial things. We always tend to focus on big things, plausible things, and high-level mental things. However, we should realize and be careful that seemingly trivial things such as a meal, a piece of French fries, a glass of soju, and walking 2 floors are very important. For reference, the current average life expectancy of Koreans is said to be 90 years for women and 86 years for men as of 2024, one of the longest average life expectancies in the world. It has increased by 5 years compared to 10 years ago, and the average life expectancy of Koreans is increasing every year. I hope that you will always watch our Health Digest videos and maintain a healthy life. Ingredients that help prevent sugar toxins. Another important factor, just as good as habits that prevent sugar toxins, is the active use of ingredients and materials that help manage sugar toxins, such as vinegar, lemon juice, green tea, chicken, seaweed, antioxidants, and anti-glycation agents. According to statistics related to smoking cessation, the success rate of quitting smoking when using smoking cessation aids, nicotine patches, gum, etc., is 5 to 6 times higher than when not using smoking cessation aids. Therefore, actively using ingredients or verified materials that help manage sugar toxins can also be of great help. According to recent news in the academic world, a new material called DOS-209, which has antioxidant, liver-protecting, and anti-glycation effects, has been developed and a related patent has been obtained, attracting much interest and attention. This new material has been confirmed to have a total of 4 effects. First, suppression and removal of sugar toxin production. Second, protection of liver cells and removal of liver toxins. Third, removal of substances causing diabetes and diabetic complications due to sugar toxin accumulation. And fourth, antioxidant effects. Armed with such diverse effects, the new material DOS-209 may open a new horizon in the prevention and management of sugar toxins and is receiving extraordinary attention from the academic world. As the saying goes, you see as much as you know, and you hear as much as you know. Properly knowing something is not the acquisition of fragmentary information, but knowledge and wisdom for new development. Likewise, if you properly learn about sugar toxins, you can accumulate knowledge and wisdom to prevent and manage sugar toxins, the root of all diseases, and create your own health compass. Since it is very important, I will emphasize the 5 commandments of sugar toxin prevention habits once again. First, get enough sleep. Second, drink plenty of clean water. Third, reduce excessive sugar intake such as rice, bread, rice cakes, snacks, ramen, noodles, and sweet drinks. Fourth, cook by boiling or steaming instead of baking or frying at high temperatures. And fifth, exercise as often as possible. I hope you will remember the above 5 things and practice them consistently with strong motivation so that your actions become habits. In this column, I will introduce various ingredients and new materials that are helpful in managing sugar toxins, which are just as important as preventive habits. The following ingredients are helpful not only in managing sugar toxins, but also in immunity, antioxidants, and fatigue recovery. First, vinegar and lemon juice and the citric acid contained in vinegar and lemon inhibit glycation reactions and reduce the production of sugar toxins. For example, when grilling fish, if you marinate it with vinegar or lemon juice and then cook it, the production of sugar toxins will be reduced by less than 50%. So please use vinegar and lemon juice a lot when cooking various foods. In particular, vinegar has the effect of lowering blood pressure and blood sugar levels. Second, chicken. Chicken has an amino acid index of 100, which indicates how good the protein is, and it is also low in fat, so it can be said to be an ideal protein. Various nutrients contained in chicken, such as vitamin B2, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, niacin, oleic acid, linoleic acid, and imidazole peptide, have antioxidant, anti-glycation, anti-aging, and immune system enhancing effects. Since it contains many nutrients that dissolve in water, it is good to boil it as a soup and drink the broth. In addition, oleic acid and linoleic acid, which are unsaturated fatty acids contained in chicken, also have the effect of lowering LDL, low-density lipoprotein, cholesterol. Third, although there is a difference in the degree of pork and beef are rich in essential amino acids and vitamin B series nutrients that have anti-glycation, antioxidant, and fatigue recovery effects, oleic acid, iron, and zinc. Zinc also plays a role in preventing oxidation by removing active oxygen, and when consumed with vitamin C, the absorption rate increases. So it is good to sprinkle lemon juice on boiled pork and beef. Fourth, blue-backed fish and tuna, salmon, mackerel, tuna, and salmon contain good fats, ingredients that reduce LDL cholesterol and purify the blood, EPA, DHA, vitamin B2, vitamin B6, iron, imidazole peptide, taurine, astaxanthin, etc., which have antioxidant, anti-glycation, and anti-inflammatory effects, as well as preventing aging and increasing immunity. In particular, the astaxanthin ingredient, which is abundant in salmon, is known to have an antioxidant effect that is about 1,000 times greater than vitamin E. The important thing is not to overeat, and to eat it evenly with vegetables that are high in dietary fiber after boiling or blanching. This can be very helpful not only for preventing sugar toxins, but also for antioxidants, fatigue recovery, anti-aging, metabolism promotion, and intestinal health. In conclusion, the dangers of sugar cannot be overemphasized, and it is the greatest enemy threatening the health of modern people. The problem is that sugar is an addictive substance. This means that it is not easy to quit. No matter how strong my will is, there are situations and environments where I cannot help but be exposed to sugar too easily. Especially in modern society where food is so diverse and abundant, everyone realizes that it is really difficult to control what I eat. However, sugar toxins are a task that must be managed. Only then can we prevent the greatest enemy that threatens our health. Maintaining good eating and living habits on a regular basis, and wisely utilizing good ingredients and verified materials that help prevent sugar toxins will definitely help prevent and manage sugar toxins. The past, present, and future are actually one.
It is all today.
Roman poet Horace, Quintus Horatius Flaccus: we hope for a better tomorrow than today, but we believe in tomorrow and are lazy. Therefore, we should think of today as another word for tomorrow and make efforts to create good eating and living habits, as well as actively utilize helpful ingredients and proven new materials, starting today, not tomorrow. All foods we eat contain sugar toxins. However, even for the same food, the content of sugar toxins varies greatly depending on the cooking method. Our bodies are made of food. The cells of a human body are always being replaced, and the material for this is food. The act of metabolizing nutrients and excreting waste through digestion and absorption of food, called nutrition, sustains life. Metabolism refers to the chemical reactions that a living organism performs to sustain life, and the process of decomposing nutrients to obtain energy is called catabolism, while using energy to synthesize proteins, etc., is called assimilation. For reference, the 5 major nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins, minerals plus water, essential, dietary fiber, and phytochemicals, plant chemicals. Carbohydrates are the main source of energy, grains, vegetables, fruits, etc. Proteins are the components of cells and tissues, meat, fish, beans, nuts, etc. Fats are energy storage, protection, and heat regulation, vegetable oils, nuts, meat, etc. Vitamins are organic substances that promote metabolism and regulate body functions, 13 types of fat-soluble and water-soluble, and minerals are trace minerals, iron, calcium, magnesium, zinc, etc., that are necessary in the body. Calories, energy, vary by nutrient. Lipids, fat, are the highest per 1 g. The unit of calories, energy, is kcal, which is shortened from kilocalories and is usually read as calories. The long history of mankind has been a fight against famine. Therefore, our body has various systems, adrenaline, glucagon, thrifty genes, etc., to respond to nutrient deficiency, but we must be careful because the only system to respond to unexpected situations of nutrient excess is insulin, which lowers blood sugar levels. Was today's content helpful? Don't forget to subscribe and like and turn on notifications, and be sure to click all of them right now. I'll be back next time with more useful content from Korean health care experts. Thank you for watching.